Yeah, they did. They had 2 weeks off though, and I say off, 2 weeks of not playing. Funnily enough, I think that hard game at the end helped us at the end tonight. We finished full of running. In fairness to Port Adelaide, they had a few injured blokes, and it was a mighty tough, high-pressured game. So to be, I think we were pretty close to 4 goals down at one point in time. I don't know whether in my time at the club we've actually been in that situation and come back from there against a good side. So, there's a little bit of adversity, and there was adversity for both teams, and we found a way in the end, so really proud of the players.
What do you think changed there? Was it just the midfield kind of getting the better of them after they looked like they had control of it in the third quarter?
Yeah, they did. The last quarter contested possession was a big swing our way. I felt there were times in the night where we sort of got that going, but for a sustained period, it wasn't until the last quarter that we were actually able to win ground ball and contested possession, and that made all the difference to the territory battle and the opportunities inside 50. So, it would have been nice to kick a little bit straighter. It might have helped too.
Yeah. And just nice, I guess, that the maturity is there. They didn't throw the toys out of the cot when things weren't going their way.
And that's exactly what we talked about at three-quarter time. It's been one of our focus areas this pre-season is how could we handle a little bit of adversity, and we got a little bit of that in the final against Melbourne last year when Dan McStay went down, and same the next week in the final where we lost Payne and Jared Berry. So it was good tonight to sort of it feels like we've maybe matured a little bit as a group over the summer. It was a big game. 2 really good footy clubs, both top 4 teams the last couple of years. I can't speak on Ken's behalf, but I'm pretty sure I'll be proud of his players as well. So, as scratchy a game as it was, and there were lots of errors, it would have been brilliant to watch.
What did you make of Joe's half-time handball there?
Yeah, look, I'm so glad that we won that game and didn't lose by a small margin, because we never would have heard the end of it. I guess he was just trying to be a good team player. He played a great game tonight. I would have liked him to go back and have the shot, but maybe the communication didn't get out to him that there wasn't much time left. I'd have to talk to him about that, but he made up for it.
What can you tell us about Dane Zorko? What's wrong with him firstly?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. He felt something pop in the back of his calf area. His Achilles is fine, and he's got strength. So there's some little theory floating around at the moment that where he had the little procedure a week or 2 ago, that might just be a little bit of scar tissue that moved. But I sound like a doctor, don't I? I'm not really, but we'll wait and see, because sometimes these things can turn into something bigger the next day, and we won't really know until early in the week.
Yes. Sorry, I was going to say, I guess the obvious question is, was he slightly underdone, or was that maybe a little lack of preparation because he missed those games?
No, if you had a look at the incident, I think the Port Adelaide player sort of weighted down on him from behind, so it was nothing to do with that. He was as good to go. So,
sorry, Chris. Just his move to half back, is that something you've kind of floated during the pre-season? How did you see it?
Yeah, look, I like to think Zorks can sort of do a bit of half back, a bit of midfield, a bit of forward. I mean, he's a pretty experienced player now. I thought he gave us good drive from the back end while he was down there, and then when he went on ball in that third quarter, he was making a bit of a difference, and then he got the injury. I just hope more than anything that we get to see whether he can play a bit of half back this year, that the injury's not too serious.
Jared Berry, sorry, you go.
How did you think that slightly revamped midfield setup looked, Fagan? It felt tonight like we had a lot of our players down for a fair bit of the game.
So it's a little hard to assess. I'm not going to judge it on one game, but they certainly found a way in the end to get on top, which was encouraging. We flicked the magnets around a fair bit too to try and make that happen. I'll wait till we play a few more games before we judge that. But we did finish full of running.
Yeah, and is that a matter of connectivity and practice too, as they kind of try to develop that?
you coaches like to call synergy with each
Yeah,
other?
potentially. Although we've had a fair bit of the pre-season to do that. We've mostly played our A team versus our B team for a lot of the pre-season. So I think it's along the way to developing, but it's like all things that you try that are new. They don't necessarily, they're not a raging success straight away. You just got to stick at it.
Jared Berry, did he come off injured there late with the shoulder?
Yeah, I think he got a bit of a knock on the shoulder. I'm not sure. It was right at the end of the game, so I don't really know if there's any damage there.
One last one from me, Fags. Must have been nice to see. I mean, you had the two players coming back tonight, Cam and Noah, but Noah seemed to have a huge impact in that last quarter. It must have been pleasing to see his impact after such a long time away.
Yeah, his contest win and effort was outstanding. So very pleased to have him back. He's a hard bloke to play against, and that's what you always want first and foremost in your defenders. Maybe handballed it a few too many times. I would have liked him to have kicked it a couple of times, but like for a fellow that hasn't played, a serious AFL game since I think round 16 in 2020, which was the second last game of the year up in Cairns. I thought that was a pretty fair comeback to AFL footy. I don't think he's played 30 games, has he? He's about mid-20s in games. And it was great to have Cam back. He had some moments, and he'll be better for the run. He's had a little bit of a challenging couple of weeks with his dad not being well. Fortunately, there's been a good outcome there, but not the ideal build-up to round one for a bloke coming back off a knee injury. He'll be better for that.
I also had a general question about the defence holding up tonight. Folks, particularly Marcus Adams and Darcy Gardner.
Yeah, they were great, weren't they? I think Marcus had about 6 or 7 intercept marks, and he was really strong in the air. It's good to see him doing well. I've touched wood there. He's had his first pre-season, I reckon, a proper pre-season since he's been in the AFL, whether I think that's been at the Dogs or with the Lions. So you could see that tonight. Like he looked like he was really comfortable back there and read the play really well. So pleased for him, and good that Darcy was able to make a good, strong contribution as well. He looked a bit tired at the end, but it was a hot night and it was a hectic game, so it's understandable.